if someone could give hey, here we are. Hello, humans.
Hello.
Hello.
You are live.
Hello,
Welcome
presents.
to our Tuesday night adventures.
Yes.
This is Uncanny Prose. We play Monster of the Week with a lot of homebrew rules and, a lot of hiatuses. So there's been a couple weeks of hiatus, and we are glad to be back. I think DM is going to sort of start us off with a little recap for everybody who might be just joining us and maybe has missed a couple episodes or a couple weeks or hasn't watched for a couple weeks because we've been busy.
Or was a player that's, just kind of like, it's been a minute.
Right on. Yeah, well, where we last left, the kind of broad strokes is Thomas went missing for quite a long time, for months, and not a lot of signs or signals indicated where he was or what he was up to. And events unfolded in his absence, the prominent ones being the location of one of the sort of tombs, nests where a sleeping dragon once made roost, and a harrowing battle with the magical construct that defended that led to some revelations on Rory's behalf. And then an adventure into a convention full of avant-garde magical practitioners that was set upon by an outside actor posing as security, who committed a bunch of murders and used the chaos to make trouble for our gang, to make off with some valuable research, and to cause some chaos yet unmanifested. And after sort of licking their wounds, after surviving but not really prevailing in that situation, our heroes got a call from their police contact, Detective Dalton, who had, it turned out, Thomas in his custody, who had been attacked or had gotten into some kind of brutal fight on the highway. And the people he beat up were gone, and he himself was in a very, very bad way, very severely injured. But because there was nobody to press charges or, frankly, take facts from, he was able to do the crew a solid and release the boy into their charge. And that is where my last story ended up.
Mm-hmm. The only other thing that I have to add on to that is towards the end of the last session, there was some time where Rory was granted visions from a being that he doesn't have full comprehension of yet, telling him that there was, during all of the times that his people were meant to sleep, one that stays awake. Is there anybody else that has anything to add to that summary?
No, I think that's actually pretty succinct.
Okay, perfect.
Like what?
Yeah, pretty strong. It's almost like you often tell stories for us.
If anybody really wants to catch up on the episodes, you can watch all of our previous episodes on our YouTube channel, on Facebook, or you can catch the recent reruns here on our Twitch channel.
You can always support us through such measures. And we are going to go ahead and get into the story in that case. And this one is going to open up as Thomas feels himself in a bit of a difficult state. His body is aching. His awareness is slowly coming back to him after a decent amount of time unconscious. At first, because of blunt force trauma, and then due to some anesthetics that were applied to try and ease and numb things. That said, the air feels cool and comfortable. Wherever you are, The sheets feel soft and plush, and there is a hazy glow just past your eyelids. Seems to be emanating from very close by. And as your eyes begin to flutter open, there is the small iridescent shape of our mansion's butler, who quickly takes note of your consciousness coming back to you and floats out the door to inform everybody else of your return to the land of the waking. Everything hurts. Not as bad as it has after some of your unpleasant showdowns with magical opponents of various degrees of world-ending power, but it is deeply unfortunate. Quickly, to the stairs outside of this room, you hear scrambling and raised voices. And quickly tumbling in one after the other, others make their way inside of the room. At the front of that column is, of course, Rose, with others following quickly thereafter.
What's the degree of, like, other than pain, what's the degree of damage? Kind of like open my eyes?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say they are swollen, and you have black eyes, but not to the degree on both of them where you were incapable of seeing.
Oh, thank God I'm not blind.
Think Rocky after the first fight.
Ow. Thank God I'm not blind.
Rose just rushes over to his side.
Oh, does this mean I'm not dead?
I'm gonna go yes, but to be fair, I'm a terrible judge of that. So
I'll take it.
I'm gonna go. You're gonna be dead if you don't tell us where you've been. What the hell, man?
yeah,
Edith, real quick, look him over again with the crystal. Make sure we're not missing anything. I'm gonna start doing his vitals again, getting a good set of baseline vitals.
I look through
Rory
the
is
crystal.
just kind of like hanging back a little bit, stunned and not knowing if it's the appropriate moment to rush in.
I really didn't mean to worry you. I know it must have been a long night. I'm so sorry.
No.
Thomas, it's
What's
been
the last thing you
a lot
remember?
longer than a night.
I don't remember if it's winning a fight or losing one, but playing a trump card, I guess.
You've been fighting with somebody for 3 weeks?
No, just a few hours.
No,
No.
it's been weeks.
What day is it?
Tuesday?
Yes.
The 20th.
Oh God. Really?
Tom,
No, I'm joking because that's what you do to people who have concussions.
Oh,
What's the last day you remember?
Was he bloody knocked out for 3 weeks?
Not with that black guy.
I went from the coffee shop, and then everything started happening really, really fast, and then I got out. But
Wait, what started happening fast?
They wanted me to open a door for them. They said that you guys were in danger, and that the only thing that could help was past it. But I didn't even need to do anything. I just showed up, and then I went through their portal, and I saw the door, and then the statue in front of the door started trying to kill me, which was an immediately very pressing problem. That thing was tough.
okay.
Strangers showed up and said that we were in trouble, and without calling us, you disappeared into an otherworldly portal and fought a statue.
Well, I didn't know that I was going to be doing most of the latter part of that sentence. I just started with the one.
Right.
Well, do you remember any of the times we sort of got a hold of you?
I remember trying to reach out to you when I needed your help and feeling all the good stuff, getting some strength from it. It kept me alive. That thing was vicious. I've never fought anything like it before.
Did
Except
like
Jason or the parasite.
was it like a big night-looking bastard with some energy?
Angel wings and blades and crazy magical energy and completely freaking fireproof. Yeah.
Oh my god! It kicked the hell out of me.
Yeah, I actually thought that I lost an eye to it, but apparently
Arm. This is new. I got a new arm.
that thing was outrageously dangerous. I was thrown off. It became apparent to me pretty quickly that the entire reason I was there was to get it out of the way for those guys. But
Who
I couldn't
were
stop
they?
them.
And why were you randomly opening a portal for strangers?
There was a magic. They were like us. There was a magic user, and there was a guy with weapons, and there was a girl who knew things, and there was another girl who was kind of gruff and kind of mean, and there was another guy who cracked a lot of inappropriate jokes, and they just needed my
Another
help.
one. What
So-
jokes are bloody brilliant?
They said we were in danger?
Yeah. They said if I didn't come with them right now and help them get into a place that a lot of people were going to die, including you guys.
For
and
the
that they needed
record,
me to
Rose,
come right then.
for
And
the
you
record, as
couldn't-
you were looking through that crystal, it does look like Tom. However, I just wanted to clarify with you, DM, is there anything that would have been notably changed about the nature of the perceived supernatural energies to him?
They're a lot stronger.
So
Like something in him woke up a little bit.
Thomas, but more than is what you perceive through the crystal.
Are his injuries consistent with injuries he suffered in the past, and his healing rates same or better, worse?
None of this stuff, if it was inflicted by another human being, wouldn't have regenerated by now. He's taking an oddly long time to heal.
But it does appear to be healing.
He can actually like see and move and breathe unobstructed, which wasn't what he was when you picked him up.
I didn't wish to talk over you, Chloe. What was Edith saying?
I feel like I'm going to just institute a rule for the group, especially you, Thomas. We don't wander off to people who say we're in danger without texting first.
I did.
I do remember we
Through.
did get a message, didn't we? But it was cryptic, and
I think it was I'll be back.
And you left your phone at Baba Java.
No, I didn't.
Didn't he leave his phone at Baba Java?
I had my phone. He left a phone, or it looked like he left a phone. I had it. It was on me at one point in time. Then
I'm pretty sure this is actually Tom now.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's okay. We'll find you a phone.
I was trying to use it, and then the statue went berserk, and my attention went somewhere else.
That's all you. Is that all though? You don't remember what happened like after that or anything?
Well, it was trying to kill me one of like a dozen times, and I don't know. I just felt stronger and felt more in control of my powers all of a sudden, and I was able to beat it. I delivered a blow and it broke just like it was made of stone. But after that, stuff got really weird. The room got all hazy and warpy, and all of a sudden I was in the air and getting thrown this way and that. And next thing you know, I'm in a lake, and I get out of the lake, but I was in bad shape. I kept trying to hitch a ride back to town, but nobody would pick me up, probably because I looked like shit. And then I just started walking. And then something hit me, and I don't really remember much after that. Just trying to defend myself, and Maybe succeeding, maybe not. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with not.
Yeah, probably a pretty good bet.
He's still here, so
Now look, you're not dust, so it's a win.
It was a really near run thing. That thing nearly killed me. I wasn't ready.
What was it?
I don't know, but nothing worked on it. Like none of my tricks, none of my powers, none of my abilities. It was stronger than me. Its sword could cut me. Everything it did to me, every time it hurt me, it wouldn't heal. Like ordinarily when I fight people, it's not bad. I've even been stabbed before. It just closes right up. But when this thing would hurt me, I'd stay hurt.
We did meet him after he'd been blown sky high about 300 feet in the air and come crashing down. I believe that. Tom, I, with the help of all of our lovely friends here, was able to take the bastard down. If it was the same one, it might have been a different one. If there were two, we're having more problems. But
I think they guard the doors.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with there's more than two.
well,
Probably.
which lake were you at?
oh yeah, because we were at the lake.
I don't know exactly. It was by a campground.
That
Every time
might have been.
Every time I approached somebody, they were very afraid. I think because I had all of this.
Okay, all right then. Okay, fine.
Where did the people go who you were helping?
When the fighting started, they were gone. I mean, they said that they'd have my back if whatever happened in there, and they did. And then the statue came to life and went crazy, and then the next thing I was alone.
That sounds something to me like a setup.
I think they were using me like a battering ram
Mm-hmm.
to try to get through that thing.
Wait, so we think that they were trying to get somewhere in there, and the thing that was keeping them from being in there was that thing.
They wanted to get in the door. They said that they needed something past it, something to save everybody.
I look around to everybody else. So we did kill that thing. That thing is gone now. The thing that was stopping these people who were very unconcerned with the fate of our friend Tom. We took the obstacle out of their way, then, is what we're finding out here.
Well, we took one of the obstacles out.
I sure smashed mine up.
We took
Yeah.
two of the obstacles out.
There are multiple obstacles no longer in the way of people who do not seem to have our best interests at heart.
That sounds about right.
You've been kind of absent, Thomas. We've discovered there are multiple groups aware of the fact that dragons are waking up, and
Yeah.
it seems like a lot of them are interested in hunting down and killing all the dragons. Which
There's the pointy weapon bastards. There's the magically inclined folks messing around who make people glow blue, and then there was a man who shot me a lot and had explosives. I do not know whether these are all the same group or sort of interconnected different splinter groups, but either way, they don't like me, as far as I can tell.
I think they're like
or any
us.
of his kind.
I think they're like us, but worse.
Or better, depending on how much you dislike dragons.
They're
worse.
Thank you.
they're more selfless, which makes them more dangerous. At least one of the groups. They're
Like, if
they're
they
not
have anything-
doing this for their own personal benefit. They're doing it because they think they're serving the greater good, which makes them very dangerous.
Rory is going to walk up to Tom, and he is going to just sort of like put his hand on the least bruised part of him that he can find, and be like, Okay. Without getting too tremendously gooey on you, I've been at a bit of a loss without you for the last few weeks. You know, just speaking as a friend. A lot of us have. And I'm not okay with you disappearing on us like that. And I'm aware that this was not your decision to do that part.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. He voluntarily followed these people.
Yeah, but like the weeks thing, it sounds like he was either asleep for a long time or there was some time shenanigans, which I have experienced before. So I know that that's a thing. One of the two probably happened. So I'm gonna hold exactly 1 day of running off into danger without us against you. I think that that is a reasonable amount of resentment. And I missed you.
I got cocky. Rory, I'm sorry. I didn't think I would run into anything that could do this to me. I was feeling invincible, I guess.
Just remember that, like, at the end of the day, no matter how big and strong you are, if you think that there's nothing out there that can touch you, there's a whole other you out there that could just trounce you if it wanted.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm afraid of.
there are bigger things than any of us. You can become probably the nastiest thing on this planet and still be in danger. All of us could. I have been the apex predator for most of my existence, and I have still been walking around on a leash for 9/10 of it. I am done with this macho crap that we all tend to pull sometimes when we're like, oh no, I would rather not endanger everybody else hanging around here in our little gang, because I don't know. I think that we're just likely to get each other electrified or burned or shot a bunch again. Can we?
Statistically speaking, more likely is that we all die and leave Rose in a puddle, which is not acceptable.
I'm anti-puddling as a person can be.
I have a lot of questions about that theory.
That was
I mean,
oddly
like, why am I a
specific.
puddle?
Because
That's
you're
right.
right. Because you're the last alive.
Well, yeah, no, let's not do that one. I thought you
I
meant like a literal puddle, and I was like,
I-
wow, that seems really pointed.
It reminds me of something, actually, Rory, that the big guy said before all the danger started.
The
Which
big guy,
big
like, is
guy?
in the suit of armor that kicked your ass, or like,
No, the guy who took me there, who said
Okay.
he needed my help.
I.
He mentioned some. I asked as we were traveling. It was dark. It was like we were in a cave, but there was a path, the path that led to the door. And I asked him why he needed my help, why he sought me out in particular. And he told me that if the dragons were waking up, then a new god would have to too. And then the thing tried to cut my head off.
That does not sound to me like those are a one-to-one relationship.
I don't understand what they were trying to do. I don't know why they wanted to get in there so bad, but I do know that if something that wicked was guarding the door, it was trouble.
Do you believe, you know, in this scenario that they're pitching that you are said God?
Well, for the 5 seconds I had to think about it before there was a great big honking sword flying at my neck, I did think he meant me.
Mm-hmm. That's all right. I think that that's the only hypothesis we have to work on right now, right? Unless I'm wrong.
I mean, they're wrong.
Why?
I'm not that. I'm mortal.
You're a part of one, though.
Yeah, a piece. Cosmic dandruff. Everything that made that thing up doesn't make me up. I don't have the personality. I don't have the omniscience. I don't have the power. And I don't have the immortality.
So
Yeah,
you, but
Yellow.
I
So
think
let's
already
I think had I not fought back, that thing would have ripped my head off.
okay. So let's
Maybe
say that then that they are correct. That if the dragons are waking up, that a new god happens, and that they are wrong if they believe that it is you. What does that leave us with? Does that leave us with?
doesn't have to be a new god. It can be one of the old gods.
Oh,
Yeah, they're around now.
Oh
They've
god.
always been around.
Well, they're yeah, I mean,
Okay,
in
so
fact,
it sounds like you guys had an eventful couple of weeks, as apparently I did, but I was just fighting.
yeah, there's a lot of different factions trying to take advantage of all the cracks in reality.
Trying to do
Rose
a
and Edith and I glowed blue. We were blue for a minute.
That sounds possibly cancerous.
Edith more or less closed a portal to the Fey realm.
Like Fey realm, or like where I come from, Fey realm.
I mean, like, didn't you talk to a satyr?
Yeah, I mean, is there a different Fey realm?
Well, I
don't-
mean, it didn't seem like exactly the same sort of place. One's a sort of like very fake glade, pretty dancey place, and the other's like a crazy dreams realm.
In
You know,
fairness,
of course.
Antarctica doesn't really resemble like the Sahara Desert, so
Is a Fey god of death a Fey? I guess I always kind of assumed they were related.
We were more concerned with closing the door than taking a look around and seeing what was on the other side.
That's fair.
I
Probably.
would love to have more technical knowledge of how these different places work.
I want to learn about that statue thing. That was some wicked mojo.
Okay, well, I have a little bit more information on that. You know, when I killed it, we got a certain download of stuff. There was apparently a bunch of people back in the olden times, or maybe some of them are recent, I don't know, but at least the one that I fought in the olden times, a bunch of the folks that were coming to try and kill my sort of person poured their lives and their skills into it, and they died so that they could have something that was best equipped to kill dragons, and it would be impervious to most of what we do. And it took a very concentrated effort and overwhelming it to do so. If I had been fighting it on my own, there is no amount of damage that I could have unleashed on it that would have helped.
Yeah, no, I had a similar experience. I was really, really having trouble with it. And then I just tried to psych myself up and started telling myself that I had to do it for Rose. I had to get home. I wasn't going to go anywhere without saying goodbye. And then some of the stuff I used to have woke up, and it got me past it, but only narrowly. And when it died, I saw things too. That's wild.
what did
What
you
did you
see?
see?
It making a weapon out of a bone from a dragon, and there was a guy who was teaching him how to do it, or teaching it how to do it. But he made his sword out of, I want to say, like a rib. And the man said to him, "And now you can kill them, as well as damn near anything else."
The blade. Was it the blade that it wielded was forged from dragon bone?
Yeah, they sure look the same. And holy crap, did that thing pack a punch.
Boy, that makes sense.
Wait a minute. You're saying someone had the knowledge how to make a sword out of a dragon rib, and he had a dragon rib, so presumably he had several pairs of ribs. There could be.
I never counted how many I have when I'm in full form.
there could be a dozen swords already out there that have been made.
More.
Could be like 16. I don't even. Like I
Wouldn't
said, I
even-
haven't counted.
I mean, be real. You wouldn't need you wouldn't just need a rib to make a sword. If you could make dragonbone weaponry, if you could repurpose the entire. I don't mean to talk with lack of sensitivity, Rory, about.
No, it's okay. I just don't even know how many organs I have. I've never really even thought about it.
If they can, it just makes sense. They're these things, those warriors of old, those hunters. They found a way to kill one of you, and then they weaponized what they earned, those resources. And that helped
I
them
would be
more.
shocked if those things had not been put to their intended use at least a few times as well. Like, obviously, there are still dragons about. We've seen that they're waking up, but they probably got a few of them.
I'll tell you, that thing went right for the throat, so to speak. If you wouldn't be prepared, if you'd have just stumbled upon that thing, Rory, in like a statue garden in the Capitol or something, it'd have been over like that. I almost bit it within the first 5 seconds.
So we hate to bring up like the elephant in the room, but there's apparently marauding dragon hunters around, which is distressing for Rory and us and everybody who loves Rory. But if the dragons are waking up, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think that they're necessarily one and all our enemies or anything, but I imagine that they're not going to be as a whole polite.
They're very
I mean,
big.
are we talking like polar bear not polite? 'Cause they're bigger
Figure
than
the-
polar
I
bears.
have exactly a group of me and my mother to go off of here in terms of my level of experience, and my mother was antisocial and told me to not spend a great deal of time among humans, and they were mostly, in her mind, to be treated like livestock that you sort of cultivate and, treat with a level of respect that one would reserve for, cows that might give you things. You might be able to milk them for gold and other such treasures. And
So-
if they should become bothersome or rabid, you put them down.
Even if the dragon had very good intentions, if the first humans he runs across are people trying to kill him just simply because he exists, he's likely to have a bad attitude towards all humanity.
Oi.
Edith, Rose, did you guys ever take that evolutionary biology class in the prereqs?
Probably.
I mean, I sat in on it.
It reminds me of there was a class that I almost certainly have failed by now, where he talked about how you don't even need to factor personality or malice or desire into it. You can just look at the practical reality to determine the impact of an outside force on an ecosystem. And as Rory talks, I'm just sitting here thinking of a borderline immortal building-sized reptile that breathes fire and flies being introduced into this ecosystem. Does it really matter if they're good or bad? They're going to wreck house.
I think things have changed significantly since the last 1,000 years when they were awake.
Right, but like the other scenario where they get wrecked doesn't really appeal to me either, Mike.
Either way, it's not.
That's what I'm
really
saying.
good. Either they wipe us off or we wipe
They're-
them out. But either way,
Or
it's a massive.
we find
war.
them first, explain to them what nuclear weapons are, and tell and convince them it's best for us to make some sort of arrangement than to go to war with each
They're
other.
sentient
Oh,
creatures.
sure, but where would it be? And
Wait,
one or millions?
everyone. I actually have an important thing that I haven't. So we were running. Tom showed up again, and I haven't had the chance to really pore over some important things or share them with the rest of you. So,
That's ominous.
well, I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Could be great. This could be a very nice thing. Or it could kill us
That's
all.
not how our life works, Rory.
All right, I'll stop belaboring that point then. We all know everything can be scary or not. Okay. So, you know how sometimes we get visions and stuff, and they're sometimes reliable? So when I was in the coin last, being rearmed, as it were, I was approached by someone who talked about me needing to learn more of my own kind. And as we were coming back to hello, aloof puppet, that was not in character. As we were going to pick up Tom again, I was contacted again by this same person who I'm pretty sure is a dragon, fairly sure, almost certain, 95% this is a dragon. And I was told that while all of the dragons were beginning to awaken, and presumably some of them are all the way awake already, being kind of quiet and cagey like about it, maybe stouting things, sniffing about. There has been one who's been up this whole time because I was somewhat out of the cycle, by virtue of leprechauns being little snide bastards with a sick sense of humor. I do not count for this. And instead, there's one who chose to be about, I imagine, as a sort of watcher of things. And that particular scaly person might have some more answers. I was told that I should seek this dragon out, and that there may be more to learn there. And if that's true, I would like to do so in any way that's not going to get everyone we know killed. I'll put that addendum on it. I'm quite sincere in my desire to not seek out dragons in a way that'll get everyone we know killed.
I have several questions, but the most pressing one is: did he tell you where to start looking for this watcher?
No.
Did
No.
you ask?
I was a little distracted at the time. I don't know. It's possible I can get some more info on that.
It's very overwhelming.
To ask him now.
I don't know how to make that happen. I don't know.
Try like one of those dream trances, like what we
Or
do.
put you back in the coin.
Sure, we can give either one of those a shot.
When's the first time you encountered this thing?
After my big brawl with the armor. I lost an arm. I got it back as like a gift or whatever. I didn't bring it up then because I was feeling moody.
This sounds really familiar to me.
Did you experience something similar?
Well, yeah. All last year. It's when I was hurt that my dreams would get weird, and my dad, I guess, would try to talk to me or communicate.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it wasn't your dad, at least.
I don't know what to call it. The plant that I'm clippings from, I don't know.
Well, I feel like you're in the wrong kingdom, but sure.
I don't know, it's a weird situation. All I know is I was less aware of him than any of you guys. He didn't come and make deals with me, but when I was hurt, or when I was desperate, or when I was sick, that's when I was aware. that something was watching me from across the void, that I wasn't alone in my thoughts or my psyche, that my mind connected with something bigger than me when I was out. I didn't have conversations, so to speak. I just felt subsumed. Imagine an ocean has a personality. Imagine it has thoughts and feelings, and they're big and alien and weird. And then you dive into it, and then you come out and you can do things you couldn't before. That was me all of last year. I came out stronger, more knowledgeable. Rory comes out with a new arm. It's really similar.
All right, are we imagining then that these are linked? We're very different sorts of creatures.
Yeah, but really strong ones.
True. Do we think that there's just an upper threshold of strong someone needs to get to before that sort of thing starts happening?
Well, think about it, Rory. Like, you're young, right? Like, you're really
Relatively.
young for your people. What do you spend your time doing? Like, before you met Edith, you were in kind of like jail, right?
Why?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, imagine you were 2,000 or 3,000 years older or something like that, right? All the magic that you would know, all the stuff you would know how to do. Wouldn't you use solitary confinement and a coin to?
Oh, I would. I'd be awesome.
I'm just saying, we don't know how strong something else could be if it was in your situation, if it started out more knowledgeable, more mature.
So we definitely need to talk to it.
Also, it really wants out.
Well, let's not let it out yet.
Let's not call him it. That might be offensive. It sounds like he's less than.
Well, I agree. We should not let
Full
him.
person.
Seemed guyish, at least. You know, at least guy adjacent.
Can I make a controversial suggestion?
Okay.
Sure.
What if we just ignore it and leave it stuck where it's locked up?
That would that also involve ignoring its advice? Because that would involve then not following up on the big dragon thing out there.
I'm saying if some mysterious person or force wants to give you tips, you can act on the intelligence, but you don't need to play its game. You don't need to. They're old, Rory, and it just reminds me of something my progenitor said, that when you have eternity, you can get real strong and real nasty.
I'm not saying we let it out. I'm just let him out. I'm just saying let's see what he knows.
Yeah, but the problem with playing games with the devil is that the devil's smarter than us.
Okay, we'll just ask you
Look,
questions.
I have had for sure enough of going and doing a mission only for a besuited man to slow clap, walking around a corner as soon as we've disposed of an inconvenient opponent.
Yeah, they do
For
that
sure.
a little bit too often, don't they?
Boy, I hated Jason slow clapping by the end.
He's a prick.
Anyway, what third option do we have?
We could try to research on our own, and Professor Billingsley seems to be our best source of dragon knowledge, but we don't know if he's sober or.
But we have an actual potential
I got a
dragon.
book from him. Sorry, yes, I did.
We have an actual potential dragon.
True.
Everything Billingsley is going to give us is going to be, frankly, real old, badly translated fragments of actual information we could get from this. Yes, it's probably playing a game with us, but we can take the information and then I guess, yeah, maybe go against.
You're talking about the fat guy who teaches anthropology?
Yeah.
And
Really
wrestles on the side, apparently.
Huh.
He likes
Yeah.
alcohol and dragons.
And cocaine and all kinds of other things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I kind of had a feeling.
Mm-hmm. I
Carry
like
on.
it.
Is there any way to cast a spell that would point us in the nearest direction to something. Like if we have one potato, can we find another potato from that potato using Rory as the? I don't look at me like that. I don't know.
No,
Not
you know my answer by now, right?
Yes,
I've been
but
beating
is it
this drum.
reasonable? Is it worth trying?
Okay, I would say that the biggest risk that this entails, because I'm pretty good at scrying, I would say that it is something of a specialty of mine because we just keep bloody investigating things. That said, the biggest risk that carries is when I try to find things. The more powerful of a thing that I'm trying to find, the more likely it is to sort of like piggyback on that and see us in turn. And if I were an ancient waking dragon who has managed to not be front page news for a few thousand years or so, I might deal with things like that. Think about it. This is something that, like, I don't know, Jason, for instance, never mentioned, or judging by these books around here, seemed to not like get super deep into researching. This is one of the things that the most obsessive, magically literate person that we have met so far didn't have a firm grasp of expertise on. That is the level of secrecy that we are dealing with here, and it is very possible that the response might be aggressive. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll be like, oh, dragon contacting me. Hello, fellow dragon. Let's hang out.
I can't
Do we
imagine he'd
know if
be.
there's some sort of Mothra we could find that could just like sing you guys to sleep with tiny little twin fairies?
I mean,
That's
the
how-
answer,
Is that a bit of folklore I'm not aware of?
the answer to that question is, God knows, probably yes, but readily available that we can contact and get to do what we want, probably less likely.
I don't. If we just know where to start looking, even.
We're
I
talking
My
this
first,
morning.
I can do it. I can go under.
If it's
Again.
already contacted you, it's already seen pieces of us. It's already seen pieces of where we've been and how big we are. It's not like we're showing our hand. We frankly don't have very much of a hand. We are clearly like the newest newbies on this weird freaking block.
Yeah, but we have a dragon, which makes us relevant to this whole dispute.
I thought my first stop should be at least looking through the relevant literature that I already have. I have a journal by an old monk that I have had the chance to piece through and try and make some sense of, but it's very old and very esoteric and tends to speak in riddles. I may be able to get a bit more information out of it, and it's possible, though I'll admit not entirely likely, that we'll get another clue. Can we maybe give me a day or two?
Sure.
I don't know how comfortable you are with this, Rory, but I could contact the church. They have people researching this kind of stuff. They might be able to send somebody to help.
All right. If that's fine. All right, Mike. Yeah, do your thing.
So, first of all, Rory needs to do his research.
He'll be here in an hour, Rory.
Okay. Great. I think that I will go spruce myself up a bit then and get out the relevant notes. Do you two, pointing at Thomas and Rose, do you two like want a minute?
Yes, big
I
deal.
mean, yeah, I would.
Okay.
As much as that doesn't sound good. Yeah.
Have fun.
What?
I'm gonna go enjoy the far more delightful task of researching my potentially genocidal race. Goodbye.
That sucks. I guess it was probably too much to hope for that if I had to be gone for a really long time, that things would have stayed quiet for you guys, huh?
Yeah, that's not really how that worked at all.
I can't believe it's been such a long time. I didn't feel anything like that. It was like 5 or 6 hours for me.
It's been like 3 weeks and 12 hours and 45 minutes or so.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know that was going to happen.
It's okay. Wasn't your fault.
I didn't know that could happen.
Okay? I mean, I know okay is a relative term.
So you remember like talking to, I really need to figure out something to call that thing because it's really awkward. I'm just going to go with Dad. Is that okay?
I think I can allow it.
My dad, big, distant, creepy guy who brought everyone back to life. And so one of the things that I can tell you is he told me from the beginning that I was going to be like him and that I was going to grow and that I was going to be eternal and that I want to get involved with people who are going to be so short-lived. And I told him, up yours. But I guess I didn't know that I've been walking around and I didn't think that that thing was going to kill me. And I didn't think that was possible. I thought I was like him. And I think I'm a little bit more person than I thought I was.
I get it. I mean, if I can request that you don't take on any more super powerful deity like situations without us, that'd be cool.
I know you guys think it was probably really, really dumb to trust these people, but you weren't there. They were just people.
How might I think it was dumb?
They weren't like scarred with eye patches and like evil laughing and whatnot. They were just people, and they were afraid and they were desperate, and they asked me for my help. And they didn't ask me for my help like the people in the movies, like, you're my only hope. It was, please, we know what we are and we know what you are and we need your help or people are going to die. And I didn't think. I just went and I tried to help them.
And that's really good of you, Tom.
And then they tried to kill me.
Yeah, well, trusting people isn't always the best. I'm not mad that you did it. I don't even have a right to be mad. If you're going to go on adventures, take us with you, okay?
I can't believe you guys found a way to kill one of those things by yourselves. That is so cool.
It was mostly Rory, to be honest. He took a lot on with that one.
I mean, that's still cool too. Like, dragon beats the dragon killer. It seemed like the deck should have probably been a little stacked, maybe.
I was going to say, it wasn't exactly the movie that I think most movie studios would make, but I'm glad it worked out and that he's okay.
Yeah. That's just it, though. I mean, you notice, right?
Notice?
Okay. I'm going to preempt this by saying that I've got maybe an advantage of perception here because I don't see it over time, right? For me, it was just yesterday. but he's a lot different. He's apologetic and frightened and nervous. And Rory, last I saw him, was none of those things.
I think your, I guess not your death, but your dusting really shook him up.
My dusting?
Yeah, Tom, when we found you, you turned to a pile of dust in front of us. And that was the last we saw or heard from you for weeks.
They did all this on purpose.
It was pretty tough to figure out.
They took me away and they threw me at that thing. And they psychologically tortured you in my absence. Oh, he better hope I never see him again. Because he got what he wanted, you know?
Yeah.
He wanted more of me to wake up. And it did.
Do you know anything about who they were? Maybe we can find them and at least figure out why they're doing what they're doing. Rory's right that now, whatever the Guardian was, it's gone.
When I was walking up the highway, I was in a lot of pain, but I kept trying to think, you know, like do what Mike does, like put the facts together, try to come up with answers. And the best I could come up with is they knew magic, they knew weapons, they knew surveillance because they clearly knew how to separate me from you guys. I think they're a lot like us. I just think maybe they're more experienced, older, and not nice.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he was doing. Like sending me at that thing. I think he probably assumed that I would win. But if I didn't, he was okay with that. It was just something he was willing to try. It was so... You've been lied to a lot, right? Most humans lie to each other all the time.
Give or take.
You know, you can always tell.
Sometimes.
I would have bet my life that he wasn't lying. I think he believed every word he said to me, which makes him scarier.
I mean, the guy we faced at the convention, he was dedicated to his cause.
What could he do?
Lots of magic and manipulation, to be sure. Honestly, he might have won if Rory and Mike didn't come in when they did.
Is this like a really big guy?
Yes, but to be fair, my perception's a little bit shorter than most people.
Yeah, but I mean like an individual of some size. Like he's imposing and tall, taller than me.
Yeah, they compared him to that movie guy. God.
That's the guy. That's the guy who got me into the place. He's the one who opened the portal.
Well, I got his cell phone. So a win.
Oh, I would like to have a conversation with that gentleman.
It's fair. I mean, I have his physical cell phone. I don't know about his number, but somebody's got to be on that call, right?
This tells us something extremely relevant, I think. It's all the same people. This group that targeted me and this group that targeted you guys, it's the same people.
That checks. The people who got you, we were pretty sure they were with some sort of mage hunter group.
I bet they do. I don't know. I bet these things kill all sorts of people.
Yeah.
They were so sure they were right and that they needed through that door. I guess I have one more question that I wonder if you know the answer to.
Shoot.
The one that you guys fought. The statue that they fought. and they were the same. What was it, protecting a door or something?
To be honest, I'm not super sure. Rari was underwater for so long.
I'm betting they were, and I want to know what's past it.
Rari would be your best bet.
Okay. I'm gonna ask him.
Okay, I could just bring him to you. Why don't you stay?
I want to get moving again. I am sick and tired of feeling like a corpse, warmed over.
That's fair. Hey, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
And she just wraps her arm around him. I'm just really glad you're okay.
You want to know something?
Yeah.
I don't make it out of there alive without you.
Right.
I don't know if it was my subconscious or if you were really there, but when I needed help, I reached out and you helped me.
To be fair, something like that happened to me too.
Well then, as long as we're watching over each other, we'll be all right. And we'll win the fights that we're not supposed to.
Okay.
But
Rari.
yeah, let's make sure that we pick these fights together from now on. Let's not.
Sounds good. Yep. No going off on your own ever again, really.
All right. You know what? Fair. I earned that.
You have to have a buddy at all times.
Buddy system.
Yep.
Like the
It works for the kids. It's going to work for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
She will just kind of help him towards Rari.
All right. Rory's up in his study in the observatory, essentially, that he had laid out for this. Quickly, as you enter, just like lining up all of these various books, and just kind of like frantically putting away certain others that he clearly didn't want people going through. And he turns and sees both of you, and he's like, "Oh, hello. I was worried that you were both busybodies from the Catholic Church.
Rory,
doing
you
all
know
right,
you
Tom?
don't have to meet with that guy, right?
I think that my personal feelings on the matter are irrelevant as far as this particular part of our journey is concerned."
Fair, but if you want somebody else to meet with him, we've got your back.
Thank you.
I had a question for you, and I don't mean to poke at wounds, but when you fought your statue, what was it protecting? Was it protecting? Was it just coming to try to hurt you? Like, I'm trying to understand these things.
Okay, so this is Dan clarifying here. To understand, the blade itself was what was down at the bottom of that lake. I tried to get at it. It rose up wielding said blade. We defeated it, ran the hell away afterwards. And then we did not understand what else happened there because everything was ruined and we were freaked out, correct? That was what Rory witnessed?
Mm-hmm.
I can't say for certain what it was protecting. Whatever was down there at the bottom of the lake, though, it had some sort of strange power. Time moved differently.
Right. Was it attached to the sword? Like the sword did weird things?
When I came after the sword was when it came out. And
where did Where did that happen?
At the bottom of the lake. I went after it. I suddenly had a very long beard. And then...
The bottom of the lake?
Mm-hmm.
When I beat mine, that's where I came back.
Okay.
What if it's 3 parts, right? The door that the bad guys wanted to get past, the door to that place underwater, and then where we're at. What if one of those things protected each door? What if it was the same thing, just out of phase? I mean, to draw a couple of dots here, it cut your arm off. It was not going well, right?
Pretty shite.
But then you broke through.
Mm-hmm.
Same with me. You said there was a lot of timey-wimey weird stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like big beard, very sudden.
What
I
if
think that I would have aged into dust if I were not, yeah.
What if we helped each other? What if when you beat yours and I beat mine, they weakened, making the other victory possible? And when we closed that loop, I came back through.
That makes sense. Do we think that there are other entwined doors? Or just those two?
Well, think about it. What do you do when you don't want someone to come out of a door, to come through a door, or when you don't want someone to get to what's behind it?
You lock it.
But say you really, really didn't want someone to get through there, like it was really stinking valuable, like the banks.
You put it behind a vault.
Yeah, what do you put in front of the vault?
Guards.
Yeah, really dangerous ones, right? Like ones with dragon bone swords.
I have not been to that bank, but I'd not like to.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. It seems like if you forgot your pin, something very bad would happen. What if they're protecting those places, both the thing, the door, the vault itself, but also they have guards in front of the bank?
Okay.
Where you find one, you go deeper. But that's 2 layers, right? That's 2 berserk statues with dragon bone swords. Much harder to get past than just one, right?
Yes. Do we think we're kind of getting the door closer to us then, as they're defeated?
I think those things are it, Rory. I think those were the things that were supposed to keep us out.
Mm-hmm.
I think at some point when we're feeling better, we got to go back.
Okay.
We opened the way, and there's nothing there to stop us anymore. We killed it. Them. I'm unclear whether it's an it or a them.
I think it would have been a bunch of thems, and now it's probably an it.
All I know is it was going to kill me, and then I got stronger and it got weaker. But both definitely happened. That's what helped me break through. All of a sudden, I was leaving dents. All of a sudden, I was doing damage. And then next thing you know, I hit it and it exploded.
I was able to pour enough into it that it couldn't take all of it anymore after a certain point.
But after not
what I had to give.
But after being able to take it up to that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you gave enough to finally beat it, yeah, but I think it lost something. Maybe it was something that I took from it, and vice versa.
Like, what do we even go after first then? Is there a reason that we should be even worrying about my stupid family right yet? Do we? I don't
Well, Rory, is there any reason to believe that anybody who wants to hurt dragons is just going to not want to hurt you?
Maybe it would be good if we were able to see this through, if there's any way that this particular dragon can be persuaded, then that would definitely be a worthwhile ally to have in that fight when we do decide to go and investigate what they wanted. I mean, no doubt, if that was all that was standing in the way, they've already gone through, right? And we're not dead yet.
I think that's what they wanted to do, but when the fighting broke out, they were gone. They left.
Mhm.
But now that you've told me it's been weeks, that makes sense, right? They wouldn't want to wait.
Mhm.
They must have had pressing urgent business, right? I mean, think about it. You're in some weird paramilitary hunter group and you have machinations, right? Just putting ourselves, like, think about last year with us. Could we have waited at any one point in there like 3 weeks? Just burnt 3 weeks? God knows what would have happened, right? It was all kind of pressing, especially there at the end. So I don't think they went through the door, Rory. I think they left. I think they couldn't wait. I think they put me there to get rid of that thing, and they always plan on coming back.
How'd they know that Rory would take out the other guard, though?
Well, how did you guys come to fight the other guard?
Because honestly, we were just investigating this kid who went ancient.
Time nonsense.
They found a way around it. They got us to that place. They got us to that place from the coffee shop. They didn't have to go through the lake. They found a way around it.
It was at the coffee shop that we started experiencing trouble.
I think they have shortcuts. Places where they can get where they need to go, where they can tunnel.
This
They're
is
really
starting
good
to
with
hurt my
portals.
head.
Well, they're really good with portals.
Mhm.
I'm not good with portals. I don't know that either of you two are. But
Mostly
Mr.
fire and finding things.
I made a cool wall.
She made a cool wall.
We're getting there.
That's incredible. Wow, I'm proud of you.
Rory could have done it way better. But in an emergency, Edith and I were not vaporized.
That's awesome. God, look at you guys go. Isn't it funny when you guys are by yourselves, you manage to get it done? I'm the one who almost dies. I think I need you guys more than you need me.
Oh boy, we for sure almost died, especially me, but like everyone.
We're a team, none of it.
Okay. All right. What does this tell us? That is a lead to follow up?
I think we got to go back, Rory, just on the off chance that we beat them back there. And even if we didn't, we at least get to see what's behind that door, even if we don't get to find what they found.
All right, let's say this dragon nerd comes here and we're able to find something.
Yeah.
What then? Do we go after it? Or do we think it's wise to go back to the lake? Or do we... I'm not going to say split up because that has certain connotations here, but do we divide and conquer a little bit?
I think we make an assessment based on the probable danger, right? I would say I'm not too terribly inclined to pursue the lake lead in groups. What if we find another one of those crazy statues? We'd want all hands on deck for that.
I agree.
Right.
All right.
I think
That's
this
what we can
is
do for now then.
think this is your show, Rory. I think these are answers to your questions. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to learn first, I'm here for you.
I don't think we can ignore how valuable it would be to have a powerful ancient dragon on our side if we can manage it.
Who better to talk to him than you? I mean, it must have been, gosh, think of how long it's been since he's gotten a chance to speak with one of his own kind. Like, I bet he's overjoyed. I know I would be.
At the very least, curious.
Yeah. I mean, if I could meet someone like myself who wasn't trying to infect me with a cosmic supernatural disease, I would be so happy.
Yeah. Do we think that guy who's also his wife is still out there somewhere? Did they get eaten? Are they dead?
I don't remember them dying.
I know, but like with the plague thing, do we think? I don't know. We could check in sometime.
We'll send a text sometime this week.
That's out there. Yeah, that's out there. We can handle that. Feel like that's easy. Reach out.
Yeah, y'all could talk to the vengeance part of you again at some point.
Yeah, private. He's been pretty silent here lately, but I'll work on it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
well,
all right.
I'll let you go meet this guy. I'm gonna sit down. Drink some water.
If they ring up the bell, just send him up here.
Got you.
Of course.
Come on,
all right.
We'll get some food.
I would like about a gallon of water as well, please.
I'll allow.
And another half an hour or so, I believe that Mike would have had reason to encounter that particular man arriving at the front door and help him up to the observatory to meet with Rory.
He first comes into the room just to see Rory. He's like, so Rory's here. He's brought here by Sister Emily, who I know. So this is actually somebody who's actually with the church. We're not getting bamboozled again. But he seems really excited to meet you. I guess he's been reading my reports I've been sending up, and he knows of you.
Great fanboys.
Dr. Ridley, this little 5'2" bald guy, skinny, in his 60s, his little horn-rimmed glasses, comes in. Oh, you must be Mr. Flynn. It's such a pleasure to meet you. Offers his hand to you. It's kind of shaking as he's,
I'm kind of.
He looks like he's good.
Like.
Yes, I've read so much about you. That's amazing. To actually meet you.
It's certainly something to meet you too. What's your name, friend?
I'm Elmer Ridley. Yes, I'm the head dragon hunter of the church. It's more of a glorified title. I'm actually a dragon researcher.
Consider me hunted, I guess.
Yes. Well, we've known about you for quite a while. We've been reading, Thomas sends up reports or Michael sends reports. We've been reading them, and I've been very interested. And I'd love to actually meet you. I know I'm making a fool of myself, but I've been researching your kind for a number of years now. To actually meet one of you in person it's something else. It's like, I don't know. You've seen Jurassic Park?
I did watch that one.
It's like I'm a paleontologist who actually gets to meet a real living dinosaur. It's kind of cool.
I never met dinosaurs. Some of them were pretty big though.
Yeah,
they were like dumb, but like pretty impressive. Anyway, I don't know. Head dragon hunter, is that like a doctorate position? Are you like Dr. Ridley, or are you like?
I am a doctor, but that was before I would give my position. But
what's your doctorate?
Doctor. Well, I have a couple doctorates, one in medieval history and then another one in paleontology.
Okay.
And that's
so. Are you good at like, old monk books? Because that's what I've got.
I have a doctorate in medieval history. I've spent a lot of time poring over old texts.
All right, so this bloody tome I got from an auction several months ago. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head, but I quote the professor, the
Billingsley?
returned, yes, Billingsley,
Yeah.
Professor Billingsley. Are you aware of that particular fellow?
Oh yes, I've
But a
used him some, but
colleague of yours?
I wouldn't say that. He's an interesting fellow. He has a lot of great knowledge, and then some that's just utter insanity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which-
Very
which
entertaining at a party.
kind of goes along with this whole. You read stories about witchcraft and stuff, and some of it is useful. And it's hard to tell. Yes, but
All right. So the primary thing that we are digging into right now is there is a very real possibility of other dragons that have been awake and out there for some time. And if we can manage to find several references to the same sort of thing or place, anything that suggests that this is all one being referenced, then we have something to go off of and more to investigate.
I have located 3 potential dragon nesting sites. One outside of Dublin, Ireland, one south of Mexico City, Mexico, and one in Romania. Would you have any leads on any of those? Those we've sent some teams out to recon the area. And it does appear that there are dragons who are layering in that area. We haven't, obviously, we don't want to go in there and awaken them. We want to get there while they're waking up so we can talk to them.
Well, as far as I can tell from this particular monk, I don't know how many hallucinogenic substances they had in medieval Europe, because I didn't really have a whole lot that could affect my mind back then. You see, even the amount of alcohol that I would have had to drink at my size would have been pretty extraordinary. But he was on something.
Oh, from what these are sites where dragons have gone into hibernation, I guess is the closest analogy we have in the modern world.
And I cannot say for a fact that anything he's talking about is accurate or true to fact, because some of this is his understanding of history, some of it is folkloric, and some of it is prose, quite clearly. But there are references to something akin to a settlement or a gathering place or something. And to my knowledge, he would have had no understanding of Mexico. And if it was as close as Ireland, well, I would probably have a better idea of what he's talking about. I think we may be looking further east.
All right. I understand there's a local lake where something I read over Michael's last report, and it was not clear exactly what happened, but there was some sort of dragon lair there, possibly. But his report was inconclusive. He said that he didn't have a very good understanding of what happened.
I don't know either, do I?
Okay.
Why don't we dig in? And we are going to cut back to Tom for a moment here, and probably Rose as well, as I imagine that they are together down in like the kitchen.
I wouldn't want to be outside of her company. So
yeah, after
Yes.
after Dr. Ridley has been let in and everything, at a certain point, down from upstairs, holding a bowl of cereal in her hand, is going to be Chandra, who walks in the kitchen with a bowl of with a spoonful of Cheerios in her mouth, looks up, and is like,
Hey.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, he's not dead. We found him, and he's very alive now.
Oh shoot.
Hi.
Okay. Well, hi.
Chandra
I'm-
kind of lives here now.
Yeah, I'm at least like staying here for a minute or something. How are you?
I'm okay. Welcome to this place.
Yeah, it's kind of
very-
weird.
Oh, it's very weird. We're all kind of weird. So yeah,
It's all right. No fungus so far, so that's been an improvement.
That's true. Well, and we went through some traumatic stuff, and this is an okay place to rest.
yeah. I'm glad it's here. If I was gone as long as you say I was I would be half expecting to find it like whisked to another dimension or some crazy stuff.
You doing okay? Like you weren't even like mostly dead or anything? Because they were pretty worried.
Maybe I was. I don't know, but I got better.
Okay. All right. Do you want some Cheerios?
I would love some Cheerios.
She like pulls over the box she had
That's,
pulled it out of a minute ago. I just came
Yeah.
back for a few more. Pours you a bowl too. And
Aw.
she's like, so I'm guessing that like I don't know, you got brought up on the major stuff. I'm telling you that my boyfriend was being the dick.
We didn't quite get to that one yet.
Yeah, nope. That is I think probably on the list, and we just haven't gotten to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's with some new people.
Mm-hmm.
New people who don't really care for us very much.
I mean, still calling him my boyfriend is honestly being a little bit generous.
I was going to say it's being really nice. You don't have to do that.
I mean, like, I don't know if we're quite exes, though. I mean, what do you say if it's like in a weird gray area where he's hanging out with someone who tried to kill you, but mostly by accident?
I think it just comes down to how you feel about it.
I don't know. He sucks.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, his new friend tried to explode us.
This sounds very dramatic.
I don't know.
You survived
I mean,
the bomb. That was cool.
like, I don't know. You're not like 100% a guy, right?
That's a little.
Well, I mean, like you're like a guy.
Human.
Like, I mean, you like you're a person who's a dude, but like you're not like a guy all the way. You're like other stuff.
That's reasonably accurate, I think. Right?
Mm-hmm. So, have you been through breakups or anything?
I'm guessing at one point that this guy was, but I don't remember much after waking up on a tank on an island, and I've kind of only had eyes for one woman since then. So,
Okay, so let's say that, like, I don't know, she was all of a sudden being like a huge bitch. She decided that, I don't know, all these other people that you were hanging out with, like Rory and Edith and the little glowing guy, were all the worst. And she maybe didn't want to kill them, but she for sure was working against them now.
so something somewhere just a little bit south of attempted murder.
Yeah, like something that could be construed as attempted murder, but wasn't.
Got it.
Like
I'm
for
tracking.
sure, attempted manslaughter. I think legally. I don't know.
It's that would be
20%
trouble.
murder. The rest was an accident.
Okay.
Okay, so all right, I'm joining you in this hypothetical. Sort of Rose lost her mind, and
I don't know. Like, is this a little much right now? Like, you look really beat up. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a jerk about this.
it's all good. I'm trying to help. I just I suspect that you're about to discover what everyone else already knows, which is I'm not really that helpful when I'm not hitting something, but I'll give it my best shot.
I don't know. I'm just trying to like get like a male opinion on this. And Mike he's like old. Like he's not like dumb or anything, but he's like old. And Rory is like from another planet.
Older. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's
So
older.
Yeah, so Tom, you're just the closest to a teenage boy that there is on the team.
you're
Oh,
like
God,
kind
teenage
of
boy.
well adjusted in some ways, I think, other than the fact that you disappear and get beat up and you're like only kind of a guy.
Well, I take after my father.
Mm-hmm. That's like I didn't get the whole download on everything, but that had to do with like everything breaking apart and whatever. Wow.
Yeah, so you know the being from beyond reality that broke everything apart? That's my dad. Or
Cool.
me.
But we're over that, right?
Yeah, he was a dick. I'm not really a huge fan of that guy.
Cool. So not super relevant right now then.
Yeah, I guess maybe I just have a 5,000 foot perspective on all this stuff. Maybe that's what you're interpreting as well adjusted.
Okay, cool. Well, like I don't know, what do you do in my perspective or whatever then?
I think, well, my idea of love is trust and loyalty and somebody that you would be willing to die for, not die because of. If I were in your situation, I would think long and hard about whether or not I wanted to be with a guy who seemed to have other priorities, because the right guy for you would be somebody who thinks about you all the time and fights for you. And
It's like I've been thinking about this way too much. And a couple of my text messages he's even responded to.
oh, you're still talking.
Okay.
Not like a lot. Like it's like every couple days, you know, I'll be like, "Hey, you okay? You're not dead?" And he'll be like, "No, I'm fine." That's pretty much the extent of it.
Well, it sounds like maybe he's exploring himself and his post murderous involvement. I'd imagine that wreaks some psychological havoc on a guy, and he might need some time with himself to unpack all the
Trauma.
yeah.
What I've gotten the sense of is that he is thinking about me and what I need, but he is not listening to me when I say what I need. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
I don't know. Do you think that that's like... I don't think that it's his job to decide what I need, but I don't know how charitably to interpret that.
It's not his job. Sometimes guys think they know best and think that they're doing things to protect the people they love when they're really just alienating them or keeping them away when the guy needs them the most.
Yeah, he's not like the emperor of everybody's needs.
No. And he should grow up and he should learn that other people are allowed to have thoughts and feelings and contributions too, and that he doesn't know what's best all the time.
But that's kind of what we're all doing a little bit though too, right? Like we're deciding that like the cops and the government and all of these people, like they can't handle their crap. You know, they can't deal with a werewolf attack tomorrow, so we're just going to do that for them, right? So it's a little bit complicated.
Perspective's a little different on that one.
Yeah, I kind of assume that they know about the werewolf attack and they're going to do what they're going to do, and then I'm going to actually stop it.
I think it's
You figure that people just like know
very
about
good.
werewolf attacks all the time?
Well, no, definitely don't go around talking to people about what we do because it's not going to make a lot of sense to them. But I think, and this is just a totally new person perspective, we trust those organizations to do what they're hired to do, which is protect people. They're just not equipped to protect people from these kinds of threats. And just as
I
a
can tell you that
girl,
small town cops are not equipped to deal with brain fungus.
no, they're not ready for that. And so that's why you bring in people who, not that we're ready for that either. Now that I think about it, this argument kind of feels a little mute. But
Yeah, but we
can understand it.
we have a fire-breathing lizard and a dude with a right hand from beyond reality, which is a tool that they do not have. We have a couple of girls who can do some pretty spectacular things, and I mean, and we've got Mike, who I don't know that any police department has the equivalent of.
Well, Mike also keeps us from going to jail on a pretty regular basis.
Yeah, well, and I mean, also he just tends to show up with camo and grenade launchers and deals with situations with extreme efficiency.
Yeah. It's kind of intimidating. Like, I don't know. I appreciate that he has treated me with respect, though, since I've been here. Like, I appreciate that he is very quick to address me as an adult in these situations. But also, you know, like, he is real quick to bust out guns and, like, shoot my dad in the stomach, you know?
Yeah, well,
there's lots of people on our team, so that maybe that's not the first move.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
Is your dad okay?
Oh, yeah, no, he's fine. I called him like last week. Things are still a little bit weird there. You know, not just because of the brain fungus, but definitely involving that. And the town's not doing great, and he understands that I need to not be there. He would also prefer that I were not so close to where all of the worst stuff seems to happen.
Yeah, I mean, he cares about you. So,
tell you what, this is a hell of a time to decide to cut back on weed.
Yeah,
but I feel like if I'm going to be a monster hunter, I should keep clear. You know, keep like focused on some stuff.
That's really smart.
That's very responsible of you. I know that I was not so strong. It just doesn't work on me, unfortunately.
But, you know, tell you what, though, I have been trying to, like, keep my ears to the ground and stay steady investigating everything. Stuff that, you know, maybe is kind of like my speed, you know, because I understand that if there's going to be, like, some real nasty stuff going on, you guys can probably handle it. But I feel like there's something out there, something that's causing like a chain of events. I've been looking at newspaper clippings. You know, they still like send daily newspapers out there, but like also, you know, like I've done a little bit of like on the feed investigating too. And there's like a ton of cars that have been breaking down around this local pizza chain. Just like suddenly things will drop out of them, or like, I don't know, people's trailers suddenly getting unhitched from their truck as they're driving by and stuff like that. And I am convinced that this is not a coincidence.
It's probably not a coincidence.
No, it's definitely not a coincidence.
I am on the trail, and I'm going to discover what is behind this.
Yeah, maybe ride a bike on the trail, though.
Don't drive on that trail. And Sean, that doesn't happen to be near that fancy restaurant downtown, right?
You know, don't no electronics on that trail, not even music on that trail, no food on that trail. Maybe avoid that trail. Maybe go investigate around that trail.
It's funny you bring up that restaurant, though. It's like just down the road, and it seems to have been like migrating.
Oh?
Yeah.
It's like my worst nightmares have manifested themselves in the flesh.
What? No, they were so fun.
What? What's going on?
It's too soon.
No, it's not too soon. I would look into the restaurant and definitely have a bag of chips on you. Have like 30 bags of chips on you.
And apparently pizza.
Pizza, I would imagine, is very up that alley. And then just again, no driving, no anything that you could die in, like a bus or a van or a truck. Even a bike is kind of risky.
And let me tell you this: they look small, but I promise they're more durable than you. Don't try it. They'll walk away. You won't.
My guess was like auto ghosts, like car ghosts.
You are so
like
close.
possessed cars.
That is really impressively close.
Super close. Do you want the answer, or you want to keep working on that one?
Oh gosh, Oh no, I don't know if you already know, but like
No, like
I'd be a bad investigator if I didn't have all the stuff, right?
No, for sure. We have a guess. To be fair, we don't know for sure.
If you could handle it, you'd be succeeding where we did not. So
that's true. We gave up and ran away from that one.
Fast. I did not look back. In fact, I just left.
Tom has nightmares about it.
Well, I'm gonna go into this freaking earn then. Go ahead.
You got this.
Gremlins.
like little goblin-y things, or
yep.
They're adorable. They're like maybe this big.
Are they like troll dolls?
Almost like a little bit bigger and a little bit skinnier.
Okay.
No hair.
I was thinking the same thing because I watched the movie and they like dance and sing and have famous voices, but no, these things are like, and then everything breaks and people get hurt.
They're so freaking cute. If you have chips, they'll chill out.
Those things took the engine out of a car we were in that was moving.
The first time, the second time they were very well behaved.
We're going fast. The last place you want to lose an engine is doing 85 down the highway.
Like I said, you walk that trail, Chandra. You walk it.
Okay.
You can do this.
And they have this
if you
weird
need help, though,
I do that.
No, I'm not going to get in over my head, and I'm not going to need to call you because it sounds like you all are dealing with things that are above my pay grade, and I am doing this correctly, and I am proving that I'm responsible and able to handle my own crap.
I would rather deal with murderous statues than gremlins.
All right, Tom, you eat your Cheerios.
And I was about to bring us over to Edith, but it sounds as if Chloe is having some technical difficulties. So I am going to have us... you know what? This is actually probably a good time for our break, and she normally brings us through projects that people have going on.
I am happy to take that role while she...
Yeah.
Back.
And I'm even happy to start us out as far as going through our stuff. For those folks who are not regular viewers who may be checking this one out, we tend to take a break for a short while during each session, give everybody a chance to refresh themselves, go to the bathroom, whatever needs be. That can apply to you as well, or you can stick around for us plugging whatever delightful and amazing activities that we have on hand at the moment. I don't know that we can switch between screens as far as like changing people out for various things, but as soon as we get Chloe back, I'm sure that we can do that. And meanwhile, I'll go ahead and let you know about another project that I am involved in.
All right. Dan, what are you involved in?
Well, thank you for asking me that, DM. I have a podcast. It's a particular podcast that I've sometimes been able to spell and sometimes not. For those of you watching on the Twitch, you can click on my name and be taken to our anchor. But if you enjoy me playing characters and other people playing characters adjacent to me, which you probably do if you're watching this, you might enjoy Ombligo del Diablo. It is a Mage the Ascension 5th edition actual play podcast. If you feel like dark Western tinged horror adventures and emotionally and psychologically driven storytelling is your jam, that was one of the best games I've ever been involved in, and we are getting so close to releasing the finale. The lovely aloof puppet who popped in for our stream for a little bit is our editor as well as one of the actors on that. Any longtime fans of the channel might remember Ginger Snaps having been on here before. Also, someone who was involved in that podcast. Very, very good time for all involved. And I can only promise you that that ended as well as any game I have ever been a part of. And I am so happy that the vast majority of it is out now. You can check that out wherever podcasts that you may enjoy are located. I use Google Podcasts myself. It'll be there. It'll be Spotify, wherever. But yeah, check that out. Ombligo del Diablo. Bam. Yeah, that's all I got.
I heartily recommend taking a look at Ombligo del Diablo. It's a lot of fun. Fun listen. It's fun watching people and play around in that milieu. You guys did something similar to what we're doing here in another game, and the story is good. The characters are good. If you like this kind of storytelling at all, check that out. It's quality.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd love to do more like. I grew up with a lot of Western themed stories in my life, and I'd like to do even more with that at some point. It's now been a couple years since we finished recording the podcast, and we've been releasing it in every few weeks since. So I'm almost itching to get back in.
That's it's a great format. And it's a format that lends itself really well to this kind of tabletop type stuff. And there's so many cool games. Like one of the things I like about doing something like, Monster of the Week and with you guys during World of Darkness and whatnot is there's a wonderful universe of games out there with different feelings and tone and, explore. It's awesome. Right on.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to pop over to Bill here.
I was going to say, do we have that ability?
Yes, I do. Whoopsh, whoopsh. Aha! I have the power.
Nicely done.
I know.
So I have a RPG publishing company I do on the side. Little bits of things like supplements like this. This is a book for martially based characters, all kinds of options, new weapons and feats and armor and all kinds of options for D&D martially based characters. And then we also,
dude, it's cool seeing the sucker. Look at that.
And this is a project I collaborated with Elle on. If you play D&D, you've probably heard of the Deck of Many Things. So you've probably heard of things like the Throne, but you probably haven't heard of the Broken Mirror. This is a deck of new cards I created with different effects that, if you're a DM and you want to really scare your players, have them start pulling out of this deck with cards they've never even heard of. So they don't know what the effects are.
Oh, that's cool.
That's if you click on my link in the on the Twitch account, or if that's the right name, the Twitch page, you can go directly to Drive Through RPG where it sells both of these. And there's another book coming out soon. We're working on doing the final editing and one more piece of artwork. And follow us there. There's otpgames.com, and we're trying to come up with new stuff soon. I'm slow at this kind of thing, so it takes me a little while to get.
Do we have any like hint, any sneak peek of what this new book is dealing with? Or
it's going to be for arcane based characters mostly.
Right on.
All kinds of new artifacts. It's artifacts and legendary items, new potions, scrolls, all kinds of, and a bunch of new spells, all kinds of new arcane spells. So if you play D&D and you have any sort of arcane caster, and your DM is cool at all, you'll want this book. So there's all kinds of cool things you can get in that. So
that's awesome. Well, shoot, man, I look forward to that. Also, every D&D player knows and loves the deck of many things. So playing with variations is, I find that's a can't miss concept right there. Because everyone's got to memorize pretty much. I love the surprise.
And if you get an actual physical deck too when they pull, because if you've played and you play with the standard cards, red's good and black's bad. If you pull these, and you pull up the key, is that good or is that bad? It's not immediately clear. If you're experienced, that's good. But if you pull up, the glutton, you have no idea if that's good or bad.
I like it. That's baller. Nah, definitely go check that out and support folks. Like, independent creators are part of the lifeblood of any game. So
yeah,
check it out. Right on. And we will go to L. We got L.
Hello.
Oh, I am loving the unreasonable power of this screen thing.
It's a lot of power to have one person have,
I can see why Chloe likes this. This is nice.
Oh man. Alrighty. Well, in terms of announcements, nothing super crazy. We still have our fantastic giveaway sponsor, Escape Velocity Comics. So if you're in Colorado and want to check them out, they're a super cute comic book store in the heart of downtown, and they've got a ton of fun sales going on all summer. I know they're starting their First Friday stuff up again, where they're going to have like featured artists and like buy one, get one on back issues. There's a ton of cool stuff to look into there. Let's see. I have a store, but it's on an awkward hiatus. But if you go to my Etsy shop, which you can find through the little about link, there's some pre-order sticker stuff in there. So if there's anything you're like, oh, I really wanted that one, now's a good time to put those kinds of orders in. And then, last up, I've got a new project in the works, which I'm really excited to debut pretty soon. But in the meantime, if you're interested in getting some sneak peeks or seeing anything that might be upcoming from that, I will post a link in the chat to, it's an Instagram page for a group called Hallway of Doom. So if you check that out, there's going to be some super cool stuff coming out from there really soon, which is a project with me. And if you guys know and love her, LOTR fan in the chat is also a part of that. So it's going to be really fun and cool. So be sure to check that out really soon. And I'll post a link here in just a second so you can get there.
This is awesome. Everybody is doing cool things. I need to pop in, as I am also Colorado based, and I have never popped in, and I've had the opportunity to and have just forgotten. So I need to rectify that situation.
Right.
I need to come check you guys out, because you gotta go local, folks. You gotta support your local shops. It's important. It's also the lifeblood of the hobby. But,
bear with me, guys. I am trying to get this into the chat, but it turns out I didn't have anything up to do that with.
Yep. I'll be honest right now. I'm vamping because Chloe's having technical issues. So it's sort of all around, but it's all good. Well, what am I up to?
I was going to say, what projects do you have in the works?
I am currently about halfway through drafting my next novel, which will be the first that I publish under my own name. So that will be exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what people think of that. And it is actually set in this universe. It's a Wealdport set novel. So that's fun. I'm hoping that I can maybe put that out alongside some of this content and give people a look at sort of a different character doing some different things. So that's been a lot of fun. Otherwise, I have been mostly doing the law stuff, which unfortunately I can speak about very little of that. But it is nerdy, it is cool, it is stressful and absolutely chewing me up. But that's the nature of the business. I did get some pretty cool verdicts in the last few months, though, so it's pretty neat.
That's super cool.
I got a Chloe in the room with me, so
I don't have anything to add.
Doesn't have anything to add. Right on. This is great. live streaming, folks. There's nothing like it. At which point I'll pop the others back on, and yeah, so the 4 of us are back, but technically it's the 5 of us.
Hello.
All right, perfect. If she's in there, do we want to get Chloe on screen as well?
Disembodied voice. Let's do it.
I don't know how well this is gonna play.
It's not ideal, and for technical reasons, I will go ahead and move us up a little bit in terms of the scale of events that I wanted to do, but not too much.
No, just leave it.
Nope. This is happening.
Okay, well.
Oh,
It's happening.
huh? What's going on?
Ah!
I don't think it's coincidence this occurred just after we started talking about gremlins.
Ah, no.
This is entirely. And now
We
my
summoned
computer
them.
literally reset. Like the whole system is rebooting, and it can't read the internet, even though I'm literally jacked into the wall.
It's
So
literally like
There's a little gremlin holding the other side of that cord. Just
You dare make the implication that we like pizza?
I don't.
because Tom insulted them. He was talking about how annoying they
Oh
were.
yeah, that's true. He was talking
you gotta
crap.
be nice to the gremlins. That is what we
It's
learned in
Tom.
that episode.
I can't replicate their noises. But
There's a reason that a computer went down at your place and not L's, is all I'm saying.
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. They sounded something like that, and then
They're
havoc
adorable.
ensued.
I literally can't get over them. I want one to live here and be my bestie.
No, you don't.
I mean, if it's her bestie, then it probably won't be doing anything terrible.
Right.
think that
Unlike
I
Tom,
interpreted-
Rose loves these little gremlins.
It will
Yeah.
merely smite the technology of her enemies.
They don't need
Get
to
on my
smile.
back.
They just can't help themselves. I don't think they're-
Yeah, I always interpreted it as just their
They're
nature.
not malicious, but they're a problem.
They're
especially
like-
if you have more than
We have
one.
lots
Oh,
of
what does this
puzzles and lots
critical
of
screw do?
Yeah, gotta give him puzzles. Give him constant
Puzzles and
puzzles.
chips.
What is this big red button? What does this do?
Nothing.
Nothing, but it is a big red button. You just buy them off Amazon for them to press.
Just give them a fully formed like Lego Millennium Falcon.
Right.
Be like,
I thought you were going to say the Millennium Puzzle, and we were making a Yu-Gi-Oh reference, and I was going to be way too into that. So
they're like
Just all of a sudden gets a little bit bigger in a super deep voice. Okay.
all right. Well, I'll go ahead and get us into a good space to leave this for now.
Yeah.
After about 2.5 hours or so, during which, like, there is much information on gremlins dished. At some point, Edith would definitely be probably like dragged into those conversations, as well as Chandra does her best to like figure out how she should like arm up for a mission of that nature.
Edith the gremlin, I feel.
Mike is not requested for the armaments talk, but he is requested to know if like there were any particular like avenues of attack or like parts of the city that should be staked out.
Probably be
how
like,
best to formulate a trap.
you're going to want to go with a pump action Mossberg with buckshot. They're small and move quickly, so you don't want to give them anywhere to hide. You want a wide firing radius.
You're going against gremlins. You want to use like a super soaker squirt gun to just get their attention, but not make them really angry.
Nothing with a lot of moving parts. Maybe a bow and arrow.
Well, no, you don't even want to kill them, because if you
little
kill them,
rubber
they get
bait.
really angry. You just want to, they're like bad dogs. You squirt them when they do something they shouldn't.
you don't know how many of these things there are. What if you accidentally kill like their favorite one, and now you have Gremlin army coming out?
Right. You don't want
That's
to
what I'm
kill
saying.
any of them. You're relocating them to somewhere they can't be dangerous.
That's why you use this. I'm saying use like a super soaker squirt gun and just shoot
What
them
if
away
we
from where they
found a
should be.
way
I'm down with that.
to teleport all of them to like the garbage continent floating in the ocean and just let them like go
I'd
ham?
be delighted. I think we had talked about moving them to the dump.
That said, after some time of discussions like these, and Chandra wandering off to go plot further, there is a call from the top of the stairs like, "Hey everyone, the Egghead and I had a thought. If you wouldn't mind joining us up here."
We all come.
That's a heck of a
Go
lead in.
upstairs.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Rory
oh, he
is
doesn't
just
have
like
to go
patting him on the back, like, "I knew you weren't going to be entirely useless, my friend. Sorry, that's how I talk to people I actually like, I promise."
It's true.
And it's like, okay, so we dug into it. This is not confirmed, mind, but the closest thing we have to a lead of places that dragons are known to be was in Romania. And while that is not actually like 100% confirmed, we have reason to believe that that information holds some weight, right? And there are multiple other sightings within orbits.
I heard
that.
Mexico. I want to go to Mexico. Let's go find a Mexican dragon.
I would love to go to Mexico. That sounds nice. It's also a place that is very high up in the air, and I like to fly. So even walking around in thin air sometimes sounds nice.
Are we talking about leaving Wealdport, like on a trip?
All these
It's
places,
probably not in Mexico, though.
all these places require like passports and stuff. Like,
Look, yes, and that is going to be a problem. I don't know. We may be able to get something like that figured out. But I also think that this maybe is not like a whole scary quest journey. At least
We can
probably,
get passports
hopefully
if we
not.
need them.
I was going to say, you gave him passports. Did you lose them?
I mean, let's be real, probably, but we can we can address that.
I mean,
We'll
if he
find
didn't
out.
before, he might have after he got beat up.
So what you're saying is you want to go to some other country to find a dragon?
Specifically, a bit south of Romania. So the text says Constantinople is the most likely place where there were caverns and places near the sea where the great kings of the East communed with a being who they refer to by several different names. The most common one that we've seen is Damek. And this Damek seemed to hold information about the sleeping ones. I did not have a good way to translate that phrase until the good doctor here showed up. It was not in one of the languages that I am fluent in. Greek, in fact. It's in Greek, which would make sense because of the whole Constantinople thing, which would put it in modern-day Istanbul.
That's nobody's business but the Turks. I have on good authority.
And it wouldn't exactly be in Istanbul necessarily, but
Not Constantinople.
certainly not Constantinople.
Tracking. I've heard this song.
If we go, it seems that the way to not spook this person is to go through the right intermediaries. And we have a few leads on that. Unfortunately, as best I can tell, we're not really going to have a good understanding of how this is done until we're in position, because this is highly contingent upon time and place in a way that I can't even really begin to explain because I haven't been there.
Do we have any good reason not to?
Only time, and if we don't think that there's going to be any impending attacks, I think that we can go.
Okay, well, first of all, there's always going to be impending attacks, so we can just, let that be. We're not exactly Superman here. we can only handle so much, right? Like,
Fair.
I'm inclined to agree.
I'm aware that this is like, at the very least, over a day's flight that I'm asking everybody to go on, though. And we are going to be leaving Wealdport, like, not undefended. Obviously, there's some defenses, and the worst people in Wealdport also probably would kill some of the threats that we wouldn't like to Wealdport.
That's a good point. The guys we're working against are also very hostile to monsters.
Aye. So
Are you talking about all of us flying over on you, or we're going to just book commercial air? That seems a lot easier.
I'm not gonna I'm big, but like I get tired after
Okay.
I flew
I was
for
gonna
like a
say.
state once, and that sucked.
Okay.
I wanted the in-flight meal. I've heard they're quite.
no, you don't.
They're terrible. No, God, no.
But I was in class, and one of the ladies, she was like, "You got to try an in-flight meal," and I was like, "Okay."
You got to learn to read tone.
The
After a
in-flight
few
meal
hours,
for
your hunger
dragon
may
is
taste
like
good enough
burnt
anyway.
sheep, so
Yeah, no, that's fair.
it'll be
No.
better than whatever we were dealing with for me.
But we get the little peanuts and the sodas. Like, this sounds like a win-win to me.
I know.
But you don't have to.
Coca-Cola, Romanians,
And movies,
Istanbulians.
in-flight movies.
Yeah.
Look, I've really never left the state, so if you're suggesting an international trip, I'm in.
Okay.
We'll bring those disposable cameras. We'll see some things. And if we're lucky, those things won't then immediately burn down because of us.
Okay. I suggest we stay under the radar. Let's go to Turkey, not the bird.
Right on. Rose, do that thing with your phone where we all of a sudden have what we need.
Yeah, no, for sure. And she'll sit down and start researching flights.
Yeah, no. Whenever we need something, she's like, done.
I'm going to make some contacts too, so we have some arms once we get there in case we run into anyone else who's working against us.
See, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we're going to need someone to pay for these because I don't have that kind of money.
Don't worry.
Okay. Thank you for allowing me to divert us like this.
I think this sounds awesome.
Kind of important, and also not really a diversion from what we're supposed to be doing.
I have questions for your awakened last dragon person anyway that, you know, could be relevant. Like, what are the statues and how many of the statues are there? And do the statues know how to team up with other statues to become little statue kill squads?
Me too. My questions are probably a bit more personal than that, but you know, those ones are good too.
No, it's fair enough. This is important, Rory. You gotta clearly dragons have a place, and you got to figure out where your fit is in it.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
And I think that is probably the best place to leave this adventure for now.
We're going to Turkey, son.
Especially while the gremlins continue to plague us. But yeah, I hope everybody had a good night.
We do tell Chandra to, at the very least, get all the gremlins away from the airport.
Yes, this would be an ideal time to distract the gremlins from planes.
Pull them east.
Yes.
Please.
But not too far east, not like across the ocean.
Well, we do plan on streaming next week. We will be Sans L next week, but tune in for part 2 of this dragon mystery that we have going. This is getting cool. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a wonderful night, everybody. See y'all later.